MPACT is next weekend. I've got a box full of parts and a lot of work to do. Yeah, don't worry, that's just for thumbnail purposes only. First thing on the agenda is to remove this wiper cowl and then remove that downpipe fix that I put in there the other day for testing purposes. Then next up I gotta do some spark plugs and then the brakes. Battery's been disconnected and now I'm at the DP fix removal point. So I'm just gonna pull this out, wire everything back to normal, and then from there close that up and do the plugs. Time to get to these plugs. Dangerous. Let's see what I got here. Bosch quiet cast for the front or rear. Packing tape. Brake sensors, definitely need those. There we go, my NGK 9795770. These will be gapped to 0.020. 6 of them, perfect, because there are 6 cylinders in here. Another brake sensor, and I'm guessing these are much bigger, so those are probably the front brake pads. I'll put these back in there for now. Give myself some space. And let's get these plugs going. So it's always helpful to put a little dielectric grease or boot grease or whatever you want to call it on your coils. Actually, let me do them one at a time just so I don't start switching coils if I get a misfire or something weird. First plug's out, and I've never seen this before, so hopefully it's not too abnormal, but that plug, top of that plug is red. Same type of plug, about 5,000 or 6,000 miles on it. I've literally never seen a red coated plug. It's a new one. If you know what that means, whatever that means, leave a comment below, because I sure don't. Plug 2 is a little less red, but still got all this red on it. I wonder if that's, oh okay, yeah, there the red is. I wonder if that's rust or something. Or the anti-seize compound getting in there? I have no idea. That was really, really weird. I'm soaked in sweat because it's pretty hot. Turns out all the plugs are actually a little red and orange. After a quick Google, I found out that red usually indicates some kind of fuel additive. So it's possible maybe one of the stations I went to is using some kind of fuel additive. If not, tell me why I'm wrong. It's quite possible. Like I said, it was just a quick Google search. So now it's time to see if the car starts after all this. It starts. So I'm going to toss this all back together and then start on the front brakes. I don't know if I'll get the back brakes done today just because it's hard to tell here, but it's getting to be closer to nighttime. I don't want to be up too late doing this. You know what else I realized? I've had this RB PCV valve for like a year now. I should probably just install it while everything's off, don't you think? So to install it, I've got to remove this. Probably just remove this fuel line, it's easier. If you want to ever disconnect these fuel lines, a great idea is to pop in the back there underneath the seat, take that seat off, disconnect the wire on the low pressure fuel pump, and let me think, crank the car a couple times, it'll run and then die, all the fuel pressure will be out of the rail. If you have it sitting for a while, there might still be a little pressure in there. If you want, the easier way is just put a rag under there and then one under by the injector and then take that line off. Just do it slowly because there can be a lot of pressure in the rail. Alright, so those fuel lines or that fuel line is off. I don't know why everybody bickers about it. It's very easy, just a 14 mil wrench, and when you go to put it back on, don't tighten it up very much. There's the OEM PCV valve. I didn't have to take this bit off to get the cap off. Some people say you do. I didn't really need to. And then you just put a drill bit in through the PCV valve there, so when you go to squeeze this bit with pliers, it doesn't just collapse on you. And then you're going to want to work that out with some needle nose pliers or something pretty similar if you can get in there. And another thing I noticed, which could be why I was having a bit of smoke on startup, my O-ring is completely disintegrated. Not even somewhere there. Yeah, it's not even there anymore. So I'm gonna get another one for that. So the new RB PCV valves, this silver one on the right, this OEM black one's on the left, and this pretty much just goes right in the cap the same way that the stock one came out. New O-ring and PCV valve are installed, and it's time to throw it back in. Alright, it's just a 13 mil wrench that you're going to want to use. Let me at least get on there. Yeah, 13 mil wrench, just like that. Takes a little time, especially if you still have this intact, but I figured it's easier than pulling all this off and whatnot. It only takes an additional minute. Alright, fuel line's back on. PCV valve installed. And when you go to put the cap on, you'll feel when it's tight. You don't want to go any further than that. Remember, it is a plastic bit unless you got a new billet cap from RB. And even then, you don't want to tighten it too much because you can still crack this housing. Like I said, you'll feel when it's tight. And same with these fuel lines. You really don't want to go too tight with them. So now that that's back on, it's time to start the car and check for leaks. Alright, so there were no leaks, fortunately. I'm going to actually now button everything back up. And again, it is getting late. It's 7:40-ish right now. So I'm going to see if I can get those front brakes done today or maybe after work on Monday. Now that's all buttoned up, it's time to try to get these brakes done. Alright, so this side brake caliper's off finally. What a pain. You kind of have to depress the piston while the caliper's on in order for it to clear this bracket. Very annoying. Haven't really had that on any other car before, even my previous Beamers. Maybe it's a 5 Series thing. So yeah, I've got the caliper resting on here because you never want your caliper held by the brake line, or brake hose rather. That's just stupid. Next, I'm going to remove this, the brake wear sensor. As you can see, I was getting a brake pad error. I wonder why. Yeah, it's a little worn, and I don't know why this thing doesn't want to focus lately. Maybe it's time for a new camera. But yeah, so that sensor's pretty worn. That's bad, so fortunately I've got replacement for that. Now it's time to pull off these pads, see just how bad they were. And if I'm honest with you, there really ain't a whole lot left there. Definitely was time to replace these pads. All the gross pads are off. And the new pads are on. It's hard to see in there, but they are installed. So I'm going to put the wheel back and go to the other side. Well, it's another 2 days later due to time constraints and stuff. So I only got the one wheel done the other day. Finally just did the other front and the back. As you can tell, it's still pretty hot and humid. Definitely need new rotors. These are at pretty much minimum thickness, so I'll be ordering those real soon. New retaining clip, pads are on, and new brake wear indicator. So it's time to do the other side. I probably won't film it, but same story with the front and that back. Those pads are really, really low. It's Tuesday now, so technically day 3 of me working on this car for MPACT. Just because, well, I haven't really had some time to mess around too much after, especially those brakes taking a little bit longer than expected and work and, you know, the usual. So what's been happening is I've got a custom tune from Shoup. More info will be in another video I've got coming out very soon. And I'm getting some codes. I think it's because I might have swapped pin 19 and 20 back when I was doing the downpipe fix thing, when I was taking it off rather. So I'm going to swap them now, which means that whole thing's got to come back off yet again, and then see if these codes go away. Codes somewhere there on screen. Yeah, we'll put them right there. DME box opened yet again. I swapped around those pins. You can watch that in video, link in the description about what these pins are and such, and why I had to get, or why I took them off in the first place. So I'll pop this back on real quick, clear the codes, do a little drive and see if they come back. That's all back together. Car starts, cleared the codes, gonna see if it comes back after a little drive. And it wouldn't be one of my more recent videos if it wasn't raining. That's how the summer's gone so far. This is literally like the 3rd week in a row that it's been raining in summer. Took last week off, or most of last week off, and it was pretty much, no, not last week, week before last. Took most of that week off and it was pretty much just raining the whole time. I've got tomorrow off so I can get this thing to the shop, get the exhaust work done. I know that's what you're thinking, what's in that box? That box there. I'll reveal that real soon. Friday I'm off because Friday's MPACT. Like I said, it's Tuesday. I was hoping to really catch some nice lightning on film. It doesn't seem like that's happening. It was going off like crazy before. That's probably when I should have started filming it. Wind's kicking up now, so I think the storm's right overhead. And of course that's going to be that was a good one. Maybe I'll just postpone my test drive for a couple minutes. So the weather calmed down somewhat. I just did a couple pulls after fixing that that pin. It seems to work a lot better. The car's a little happier. It felt like there was more power, and those error codes went away, which is definitely a positive. But now it's time to find out what was in that box. So yeah, it's nighttime. A little hard to see. Let's pop her on open, and it's hard to film and cut at the same time without cutting myself, since I can't multitask. but we'll see. Thank you for your order. Oh, you're so welcome. Some Summit stickers, probably pack list or whatever. Yeah, so I'm going with cutout, or a cutout with the Beamer. It's a 3.5 inch cutout, which goes after the resonator. I was gonna initially do the catless, or take the secondary cats out, but due to time and measurements and stuff, it would require a lot more work and it would be just hanging way too low. Not something I really wanted. So let's see. Yeah, I apologize for the lighting in here. It's pretty dark in the garage, considering that little light bulb's the only source of light around here. My garage is, as always, a mess. Yeah, this is it. This is a little actuator thing. It doesn't come with a turn down, and it's got its little control, not remote control, because you know, QTP, they want you to pay an extra 80 bucks for that. Maybe something eventually if I like it, but it does come with it comes with a nice little inline fuse. Alright, so this big boy is a nice 3.5 inch stainless exhaust, or stainless little piece. That's where the cutout goes. Pretty useless right now out of the box, especially since, you know, there's no way for me to test fit or anything. Just because there's nothing I can really do with those until I go to the shop tomorrow and get them installed. The shop quoted me, I think, 200 to 400 bucks depending on the complexity and how much they have to do. It's really just cutting and welding. I don't even think they really have to drop the exhaust for it. They might have to. I don't know. Hopefully it's not a $400 job, because I think I'm way over budget already for this MPACT project and not a whole lot of progress from last year. Another day and 213 bucks later, let's see the results. So there it is, mostly installed. I've got to do the wiring because that would have cost like I think a little more than 100 bucks extra. Yeah, it was welded in. Fairly good job, I'd say. Looks pretty nice. It's not too low. It's the lowest point of the car, I think, but it's not low enough for where I go to really interfere with anything. I've just got to figure out where I'm going to route it. I think I'm going to tap into here because that's pretty easy access to bring the wire up, wire it right to the battery, and see if I can pass it down through here somewhere. And ultimately I would love for it to end up by the driver's seat, but I can't really guarantee that'll happen. Guess I'll figure it out. And as always, due to time constraints and projects and whatnot, can't really make this a DIY. It's just simple wiring. It's nothing really amazing. You can figure it out on your own, or there might be other DIYs on how to do an exhaust cutout somewhere. Unfortunately, I am all out of time today, so however, in just a couple of days I will have a video up soon about that new cutout, so you will be able to hear it. So I'm sorry I can't do it today. The weather is kind of turning bad and I've got to run real soon. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe because you want to definitely hear that exhaust cutout. It sounds so good. So man. And yeah, make sure you subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't like the video. And remember, as always, keep it foul. And right on cue, there's that thunder. I swear New Jersey's turned into like some crazy rainforest the past couple of days.